Supply schedule. This is a list showing various quantities of commodities or services supplied in the market at a various level of price at a specific period of time. So under supply schedule actual, as I told you, it shows the various quantities of commodities or services supplied in the market. Let's assume we have this kind of table over here. We have in the left hand side we have the price level, and we have also on the right hand side we have the quantity supply. So when you sketch up the graph, when you sketch up this table here, this is a supply schedule that presents out the data in the price level in the left hand side and the quantity supplied as well. So as you can observe, we have the price level, so on the left hand side of the graph we have the price, and the right hand side we have the quantity. So we have the price that is 10, we have 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. And at the right hand side we have 100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30. We have also 20 and 10. So when you observe this kind of the supply schedule, you observe that when the price is 10, the quantity supplied was 100. But when the price increases from 10 to 20, we observe also to see. So when we try to sketch out in ascending order, we observe that there is a positive relationship between the price and the quantity supply. So when you ascend in ascending order, we have when the price was 100, the quantity supply was 10, and when the price was 90, we observe to see the quantity supply in the that minimum amount. So as a way the price increases, also the quantity supply increases. Remember that when you sketch out the demand schedule, remember to put it in the ascending order to see the relationship. Supply curve. Supply curve, this is a mathematical or graphical representation of a supply schedule. So when you draw a graph that represents a supply schedule, we observe to see we have the price in the left hand side and we have the quantity in kilogram in the right, in the x-axis. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 up to 100. These are the data provided in the price level in the left hand side in Tanzania shillings. So you can observe our graph will appear to show the positive relationship going upward from left to right. And this actually depicts that when the price increases, also the quantity supplied increases. And when the price falls, the quantity supply will decline. So when a producer's selling the quantity at level of price of 10, we observe to see also the quantity supply to increase at the minimum amount of 10. Also 20 to 20, 30 to 30, 40 to 40, 50 to 50, 60 to 60, as you can observe. So actual the demand curve, the supply curve slope from left to right, as you can observe, while the demand curve slope downward, sloping downward, but actually this was slope upward, as you can observe. So there is a positive relationship between the price and the quantity that is supplied. So at this level amount, we observed when you sketch out the graph will be going upward like that. So there is a positive relationship between the price and quantity supply. So from this figure above represent the relationship between price and quantity. So the price are plotted on the y-axis while the quantity supply are plotted on the x-axis. Let's try to look at another example. Given the supply schedule below, its supply curve will be shown like this one. So suppose we have the price and the quantity supply, and we have the price 1, price 2, price 3, and the quantity supply we have Q1, Q2, and Q3. So when you try to sketch out the graph, will appear like this. We present out the supply curve. You may present out in this way. So we have the price P1, and we have the quantity 1, quantity 2, quantity 3, and we have price P1, price P2, and P3. So at the level of price of P1, we observe to see the quantity produced at that level. So the graph will slope upward from left to right. So they show that there is a positive relationship between the price and the quantity supply. So that is another way we demonstrate out the supply curve. Remember, the table there over there is called the supply schedule, and the curve below here represents the supply curve. So we draw the supply curve from what is known as the supply schedule. Features of supply curve. So a supply curve are the following features. The first one, you need to understand that the supply curve slope downward from right to left, imply that at a higher price of commodity, a larger quantity is supplied, and at a lower price, the small quantity is supplied. Second, another feature of supply curve, it has a positive slope because of a positive relationship between the quantity demanded and the price. As we observed earlier, individual supply schedule. So this is a list of showing various quantity of commodity that will be supplied in the market at a different level of price at a specific period of time by a single firm. By a single firm in the market is what we call individual supply schedule. An example of supply schedule of a firm is given the following. We have the price in the reference side, that is 10, 8, 64, and 3. And we have also the quantity supply at the right hand side, that is 20, 16, 12, 0, and 4. So the individual supply schedule is shown like this, as you can observe. So this is an individual supply schedule that's showing the various quantity of commodity that will be supplied in the market at a different level of price. An individual supply schedule can be used to draw an individual supply curve, as you can observe. So the individual supply curve, this is a graphical representation of supply schedule of a single firm in the market. For example, from the above supply schedule of a firm, the supply curve can be drawn as follows. So since we had the price that is 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, but also the quantity that is 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20, when you draw the supply curve, mean that at the level of price of 2, the quantity supplied in kilogram was 4, and at the level of price of 4, this means that the price has increased from 2 to 4. The quantity offered or supplied was 8. And at the level of price of 6, the quantity supply was 12 in kilograms. But also at the price shillings of 8, the quantity supply was 16. At the level of price of 10, the quantity supplied was 20. So when you try to sketch out the supply curve will be sloping upward from left to right. So it is a positive related between it shows that there is a positive relationship between the price in Tanzania shillings and the quantity in kilograms. So our graph will appear in that form. As you can observe. So it will be better now we talk about the market supply schedule. So the market supply schedule, this is a list of showing various quantities of commodity supplied at a different level of price at a specific period of time by more than one firm in the market. For example, given below in the supply schedule of a firm A and firm B. So something to note is that what is the difference between the individual supply schedule and market supply schedule? Under market supply schedule, it shows the various quantities of commodity supplied at a different level of price at a specific period of time, while an individual supply schedule actually shows the various quantity of commodity that will be supplied in the market at a different level of price at a specific period of time by a single firm. But here now there is many firms. So what is actually different from the market supply schedule and individual supply schedule is that under market supply schedule we observe to see the list showing various quantities of commodity supplied at a different level of price but by more than one firm. This means that many firms. But there we look on we more considerable on the single firm when we talk about an individual supply schedule. Now let's consider this supply schedule over here. Let's assume we have the single individual supply schedule in the left hand side, and we have also another supply schedule that shows the combination of the market supply schedule of the two firms. Now for that case, suppose we have the price in the left hand side in Tanzania shillings, and we have also the quantity in kilogram. So when you try to consider this market supply schedule, we have 8, 4, 6, 5, and 4, and the right hand side of the quantity we have 15, 12, 9, 6, and 3. But also at the right hand side we have the price in Tanzanian shillings, that is 8, 7, 6, 5, and 4. But also we have the quantity supply in kilograms in the right hand side. So since we have 8, 7, 6, 5, and 4, and here we have 20, 16, 12, 8, and 4. So when you observe here very clearly, we observe out this shows the individual supply schedule. So this table, the first table that represent out the individual supply schedule, and another table represent out the individual supply schedule. So when you combine the two firms, demand supply schedule is what we call the market supply schedule. So what you need to understand is that a market supply schedule is a combination of supply schedules of more than one firm in the market. Is a combination of the supply schedule of more than one firm in the market. As you observe from this previous example, the supply schedule of firm A, this is firm A and firm B. Now a market schedule can be presented by combining together the two equations, the two tables together. So when you combine the first table for the firm A and another table for the firm B, you obtain what is known as the market supply schedule. So when you combine the two supply individual demand schedule, that is, let's assume we have the first individual demand schedule, that is firm A, and the another individual demand schedule, that is firm B. So when you combine the two individual demand schedule, is actually you produce what is known as a market supply schedule. So since we had the previous table, we had the price that is 87654, and we had also the same price in Tanzanian shillings, that is 876 and 5 and 4. So when you take out, you plus the quantity kilograms, that is 15 plus 20, you obtain 35, and also 7 plus 16, you obtain out 28. The same applies when you take 9 plus 12, you obtain out 21. When you take out 6 plus 8, you obtain 14, and 3 plus 4, that is 7. So actually when you combine out the two individual demand schedule for firm A and firm B, it produces what you see over here. So by using the above supply schedule, now the market supply curve can be now demonstrated. So the market supply curve is a graphical representation of the market supply schedule. So it is a horizontal summation. We perform what is a horizontal summation of the values quantity supplied in the market at a different level of prices. So let's assume we sketch out the first supply curve for individual for firm A, and also another individual supply curve for firm B. So suppose we are the first supply curve, that is for firm A and firm B. That is we have the following data as you observe. We have 4, 5, 6, 8, 3 up to 15 in the x-axis. So when you draw the supply curve, it would appear to be going upward like that. So the first graph is for the firm A, and the second graph we are sketching over here. The same applies, the supply curve will be moving upward, as you can observe, like that. So these are the two supply curve. One is for firm A and another is for firm B. So when you combine these two individual supply curve, is what you produce this steady graph that present out a market supply curve. So when you sum the individual quantity in a horizontal line, that is 15 plus 20, you obtain 35. And when you take out the same applies the quantity, that is 12 plus 16, you obtain out 28. And when you take out again 9 plus 12 is where you obtain out a given amount, you obtain 14. And when you take 3 plus 4, you obtain 7. So the individual, what is known as the market supply curve, that carries or carry out the two individual supply curve for two firms, will be presented in that manner, as you can observe. So we take out firm A plus firm B curves, and you obtain the curve as you can observe.